If we're talking the worst tragedy in history, it's the Black Death. 50 million people died. Half of Europe, maybe more. Towns turned to ghost towns. Trade collapsed. Prices skyrocketed. Culturally, it shattered faith in the church. Art got darker, obsessed with death. The fear was suffocating, and it changed society forever.
That's massive, but Hiroshima and Nagasaki hit harder. Up to 200,000 dead from the atomic bombs, many instantly, others from radiation later. It wasn't just the death toll, it was the terror of a weapon that could end the world. Japan's economy tanked, culture shifted under occupation, and the nuclear arms race began. That future impact is unmatched.
The Black Death wasn't a single blast. It dragged on for years, wave after wave. No one knew why or how to stop it. That helplessness was worse. Economically, it gutted Europe's workforce, ended feudalism, gave peasants power. Culturally, it redefined how people saw life and death. Hiroshima's scars are deep, but this reshaped an entire continent.
Reshaped, sure, but Hiroshima introduced a new kind of fear, humanity's ability to annihilate itself. The bombs didn't just wreck Japan, they changed global politics. The Cold War, mutually assured destruction, that's a shadow we still live under. Plus the moral weight of dropping those bombs. It exposed what we're capable of.
Moral weight? Let's talk the transatlantic slave trade. 15 million Africans enslaved or killed, families ripped apart, entire societies gutted. The cultural loss, languages, traditions erased, was catastrophic. Economically, it built wealth for Europe and America while impoverishing Africa. Its legacy, racism, inequality, still poisons us today. That's centuries of suffering.
That's a powerful case, but the Holocaust might edge it out. 6 million Jews, plus millions more, murdered in a systematic genocide. The cultural erasure, whole communities, histories, gone. Economically, Europe was wrecked post-war. The moral failure of letting that happen shook humanity. And the future? We're still fighting to stop that kind of hate.
Holocaust was horrific, no question. Calculated evil on a scale that's hard to grasp. But the slave trade's toll, counting deaths in the Middle Passage and centuries of oppression, could match or exceed it. Its cultural theft was broader, stripping identities from millions across generations. Economically, it skewed global wealth distribution. It's a slow, insidious tragedy.
Insidious is right, but the Holocaust's intensity, industrialized murder in a few years, hits differently. It wasn't just numbers, it was the intent to erase a people. Culturally, it left a void in Europe's Jewish heritage. The future impact? It forced the world to confront genocide, create laws, though we're still failing there.
Okay, but what about the Mongol invasions? They killed maybe 40 million people, 10% of the world's population then. Entire cities were razed. Culturally, it disrupted civilizations from China to Europe. Economically, trade routes collapsed for decades. The sheer brutality set back progress and left a legacy of fear across continents.
That's huge, but it's spread over decades, less concentrated. Let's consider the Spanish colonization of the Americas. 90% of indigenous populations, tens of millions, wiped out by disease, war, and exploitation. Cultures vanished, languages lost. Economically, it enriched Europe while impoverishing native societies. The future? It shaped global power dynamics and systemic inequality.
You're right, that was devastating. The indigenous genocide reshaped the world. But the Black Death's death toll was similar, and its cultural impact was immediate. People questioned everything, from religion to authority. Economically, it forced a new social order. The nature of it, random, uncontrollable, made it feel like divine punishment.
I get that. But the indigenous genocide wasn't just death, it was erasure. Entire civilizations like the Aztec and Inca collapsed. The cultural loss is almost incalculable. Art, knowledge, history gone. Economically, it created the modern world's wealth gap. And the future? Colonialism's effects still drive global tensions. That feels heavier.
Heavier than the slave trade? I'm not sure. The trade's brutality, millions dead in transit, millions more enslaved, lasted 400 years. Its cultural damage stripped African societies of their futures. Economically, it's the foundation of modern capitalism's inequalities. The future impact, Racial divides, systemic injustice, is everywhere.
True, but the Holocaust's moral shock changed how we define humanity. It wasn't just loss, it was a wake-up call. Still, I'm starting to see the slave trade and indigenous genocide as closer contenders. Their scale and longevity, centuries of destruction, might outweigh shorter, intense tragedies like the Holocaust or Hiroshima.
Exactly. The Black Death was intense too, but it was a natural disaster, less about human failure. The slave trade and colonization were choices. Deliberate, sustained, that makes them uglier. I'm leaning toward the slave trade now. Its cultural and economic ripples are still shaping our world.
I'm with you on human choices making it worse. But I keep thinking about the indigenous genocide. The sheer scale, 90% of populations gone, and the cultural annihilation feel like a deeper wound. The slave trade's legacy is ongoing, but colonization set the stage for it. It's the root.
That's a good point. The slave trade built on colonization's foundation. If we're weighing cultural loss, the indigenous genocide might be bigger. Whole civilizations erased versus societies disrupted. Economically, both fed Europe's rise, but colonization's land theft created the modern world's borders and power.
Yeah, and the future impact? Colonization's fallout, global inequality, cultural erasure, set up the slave trade and modern conflicts. The death toll's hard to pin down, but tens of millions over centuries, plus the cultural gutting, feels like the heaviest. I think we're getting somewhere.
We are. The Black Death and Holocaust were awful, but they're more contained. Years, not centuries. Hiroshima's a warning, but its death toll's lower. The slave trade's close, but colonization's broader. It birthed the systems that enabled slavery. I'm leaning that way too.
The Spanish colonization of the Americas, and really all early colonization, feels like the worst. It killed tens of millions, erased cultures, skewed economies, and its future impact. Global power imbalances, lost heritage, is still unfolding. The nature of it, greed and destruction masquerading as progress, seals it.
Agreed. It's not just the body count, it's the near total erasure of ways of life. The slave trade's part of that story, but colonization's the bigger frame. Economically, it created today's world. Culturally, it's a loss we can't measure. That's the worst tragedy.
Yeah, we're on the same page. The colonization of the Americas set a precedent for exploitation everywhere. It's the deepest scar humanity's got. No other tragedy matches that scale and lasting damage.